Good morning, y'all. Welcome in, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Joe Lockett. I am live at the Filter Coffee Parlor downtown, y'all. It's Wednesday. Y'all know what happens on Wednesdays, right? You grab a cup of coffee, and I bring you some of the best people in the world, some stuff that's going on, sometimes nationally, sometimes locally. Today, she's both of them. She's phenomenal. She's a wife. She's a mom. She got a lot of stuff going on. If y'all have been watching my promos, I want to ask y'all why have you been watching my promos? Why haven't you liked and share? Do me a favor, if you're watching it right now, just go ahead and share this video out there, right? Because we have the one and only Mia Mothershed. She's in the building with me right now. She got some phenomenal stuff to be talking about. And actually, kind of gave me some instructions before the show, gave me some stuff to learn about. But before I get into this exciting conversation over coffee right here at the Filter Coffee Parlor, I want to talk to you guys about a few things. Number one, thank you. Thank you for following this show. Thank you for making us one of the number one shows in the morning that you guys want to watch. Where, like I always say, I bring you some of the best stuff, and I'm very positive because you're so tired of seeing all this negative stuff out there, aren't you? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Every time I wake up, somebody did this, some breaking news. Somebody. Can I just tell y'all something? I love you. It's going to be a great day. We're going to do it over coffee, tea, water, or whatever you may be drinking. Maybe 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, no, but well, stick with the coffee. Get a little caffeine in you, right? But I hope you guys are having a great, great morning. I hope everything is going really good for you. If you're sitting at work watching us, hey, how you doing, right? If you're sitting at home right now, washing clothes or whatever, feeding the kids before they get to go to summer camp or whatever, good morning. Thank you for watching us. Dad, if you're at work, if you're driving out there in them trucks, big dog, hold tight. I got you. Just don't flip through me, right? Just hold tight, drive in the truck, honk the horn one time for me right there, let me say, you know what I'm saying? Bump, bump. I appreciate that. Honk that horn one time for your boy, cause I got you a great show lined up, man. She's phenomenal. I only met her actually this morning. I was introduced to her by a friend of mine that says, Joe, she'll be great for the show. And I'm like, great for this show? They were like, Joe, great for that show. I'm kind of scared because she may take the platform over by, through this interview, man. She's very well. I hate when people say this crap, very well spoken, but doggone it, she is. She say the right stuff. It sounds good, and she can articulate her words. Anyway, she's in the building, y'all. I want to say this about she's a marketing communicator guru, right? Great information. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's been doing this for over 20 some years, right? She threw some things at me this morning, like, whoa, she was saying some words like KP, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, ketchup and pickles, what you talking about, right? And it was so funny, right? But she broke some stuff down to me, the analytics, right, and what you're looking at and all this stuff. I'm like, you're speaking over my head, but I'm gonna listen. Then she kept speaking and she broke it down to me, man. So I'm gonna have her break down some stuff to you guys this morning. But ladies, this interview is really for you. If you're a mom, right? If you're a wife and you got a career going on, this lady has put it all together. When she says things about her husband, she smiles. When she talks about her kids, she smiles. And she works every single day. How does she do it? Well, grab your coffee and let's find out. Welcome to the show, Mia. How you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate that. You are hilarious.
What I do.
Just being yourself. It's good to be around people that have good energy.
Right. Yeah. How you doing this morning?
I am well.
Okay.
I am happy. You've made me smile 10 times today. So thank you for that.
Wow. Well, I know when I first walked in and I saw you sitting here, right? Number one, it seemed like you was ready. But as I told the audience a little bit before, as you heard me just say, the one thing I really noticed about you is when you talked about your family, you talked about your husband. So if you're listening, sir, she smiled every time. She blushed every time. And I'm like, I don't know who this man is. Never met your husband a day in my life. But whoever that man is, I want to call him after the show, okay, and find out how to make a woman smile the way he got you smiling.
He is my favorite human. He really is. Absolutely. And like I said, it has to do with character and integrity. And he models that every day. And so I am in awe of him. So it's great and a blessing to be married to somebody that you love and that you can tell your children, if you don't know what to do, do what he does.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Yeah, I don't know if my ex-wife would have said that.
She probably will get to that space.
They probably say his work ethic, yeah, but bro, I'm gonna be giving you a call, okay? I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna get some notes from you. All right, so Mia, number one, thank you for being on the show this morning.
Absolutely.
But I want to get into your story because a little birdie told me that by the end of this show, I'm gonna talk about the platform that you have ascended to, right? You're gonna be at TEDx Alabaster speaking next month. Right. But before all that, you became this big time, global media marketing person and all this other good stuff. Did you grow up here in Birmingham, Alabama?
I did not. Actually, I'm a military brat. I grew up in Fort Benning, Georgia, Columbus area.
Okay.
So, shout out to all my peeps in Columbus. And so I grew up there and went to college in Alabama. I went to Huntsville, Alabama A&M. I'm a Bulldog.
Okay. Okay.
And after college, got a job in Montgomery.
Hmm.
Moved there and met my husband the first day.
Hmm.
He laughs all the time. Well, he doesn't laugh. He cringed because every time I say when I met him, I let everybody know it was June 1st, 1999 at 8:17 a.m.
Good God, boy, I'm gonna call you, bro. I am calling you. So before you met your husband, before all that good stuff, you grew up in Georgia?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I graduated high school in Columbus, Georgia,
Okay.
and moved to Huntsville for college and did my undergrad at Alabama A&M.
Okay, so two-parent household?
Absolutely. Well, halfway through, the fundamentals were two parents.
Okay. Okay.
But through some unforeseen circumstances, Agent Orange,
Mhm.
PTSD.
Mhm.
Sometimes you try to make people heal, but the best thing you can do is put the oxygen on yourself first, and that's
Right.
what my mom did, and I commend her for that.
Mhm.
And so, from late junior high until high school, single parent home.
Brothers and sisters?
I do. I'm the youngest of four.
Okay.
I have two older sisters and an older brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
How were you in school?
I was awful in school.
Wait a minute. Now,
I
this is
was
the first on the
awful.
show. This is the first. Let me grab my coffee.
I am not going to sugarcoat it. I was awful. I remember as an adult finding my kindergarten report card and it said, Mia talks absolutely too much.
That's okay.
But I was
Okay.
always a talker.
I got an F in the conduct, but look at me now. I talk for a living.
Was always a talker. And so school just wasn't it for me. What I mean by that is, if we look at the history of school, nothing has changed. It has been the same school and the same platform, the same regiment that it's been since the 30s and 40s. And so for me, I've always been one to think outside the box or go against the grain. And so that type of structure did not bode well for me.
So you was one of those kids that say, this is, I don't fit good as an environment.
Yeah. In fact, and at my age, I still remember not going on the 6th grade field trip.
Okay, so I got to ask you this question. I'm finna get in a whole lot of trouble here.
I'm hurt by that.
I'm finna get in some trouble.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mia, but I got to ask. You kind of open the door for this one right here. We're going to get serious after this.
Okay.
Were you on the long bus or short bus at school?
I was on the long bus. I was very smart. I was on the long bus.
But
I was very kind to the short bus.
Okay.
But I was on the long bus. I was very smart. It's just I really moved to the beat of my own drum. And when people didn't like it, I wondered why. Get on my side, And so that's just really how it was. And so I really found my niche when I did things like choir and drama, because I was never more analytical. Yeah. So sitting down and doing work, I had to get up and,
Move
dance
around.
it out. Yeah.
So they would call that what, ADD?
I birthed the same type of children. My
Okay.
son is exactly like me. And my daughter is exactly like my husband. She's very calm and reserved. But my son and I, if you looked him up right now, you'll probably find him dancing on TikTok.
Okay.
In college.
Okay, so when you had your kids, would you could just pick them out like, okay, that one like me, that one like my dad, his daddy.
I absolutely knew my son was just like me.
Really?
Hold on,
did you know it when you held them, or was it just later on in life?
No. I knew it when he was about 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was a stay-at-home mom because everything was surrounded around building the type of family and children that we wanted. And so I stayed at home for my children for 10 years. And so I built my own business.
Wait.
Within that time.
No. Don't you skip past that. You did what for what?
I stayed home for 10 years.
Bro, we got to talk.
Yeah.
We got to talk.
Yeah. And so around year 6 or 7, I started my own business. I had a birthday party business in Montgomery. But 2 years old, I heard him say, "Hey, Mom, look." And I ran in the bathroom where he was, and he was painting on the wall, but it wasn't paint. I knew then I have birthed myself.
All righty then. All right. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a bad thing. As long as he learn how to hone.
he does. I used to tell him all the time, it's your superpower, and he is absolutely using it wisely.
My man.
So I love that.
And I want to kind of go back just a tad bit.
Okay.
Because I heard you say something. And when it's coffees and conversations, I want these conversations to be impactful to the people sitting there in some situations that they may have went through themselves. And so I heard you say, I think it's from the 10th grade to the 12th grade, that your father was not there.
Eighth grade to
Okay,
the 12th grade.
Eighth
Yeah.
grade to the 12th grade. So that's 4 years span.
hmm
How were you when the father was in the house to when he left? How was that for you?
I was exactly the same. My father was still my father. He was
Mhm.
still loving.
Mhm.
He just was in a bad place.
Mhm.
And as an adult, I realized that he's since passed on.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And so I remember my brother-in-law and I were talking about it one time, and I said, what I refuse to do is diminish the legacy of my father
Mhm.
to a moment in time or condition.
That's good. That's good.
I will love him and tell my children about the totality of the man. And what's so funny is they were divorced, but he lived down the street. So if I was going to the gym, I'd pass by his house,
Right.
you know? And so, and for a time, he moved away to Texas, got what he needed.
Mhm.
And by the time he left this life, he was a minister.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, did you grow closer to your father after he moved out, or were you close to your father when he was in the house? Or just
I
completely
was closer. I was certainly a daddy's girl.
Okay.
So I was closer with him in the house because if there was a seat, I was sitting on his lap kind of
Okay.
thing.
Right.
So I was definitely closer to him
Mhm.
when he was in the home. When he
Mhm.
was outside of the home, God was taking him through the work to be the person that he called him to be.
Right.
And so it's hard to be close to someone who is dealing with their own stuff,
Mhm.
right? Healing from their own stuff, doing the work that they needed to do
Right.
to heal from that. But I think I said he was military. So when he passed away, my sister gave me his briefcase, and full within his briefcase were where he was writing the vision and making it plain and confessing what God was going to do in his life and for his children.
Mhm.
So that brought me closer to him
Wow.
in his absence,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Because there's a 13-year-old girl sitting probably with her mom right now.
hmm
They may be facing the same thing, right? And trying to figure out how to cope
hmm
with daddy not being in the house, because at 13 you don't know.
right,
Mama gets it. Mama doing what's best for you. Dad gets it, but the kids don't get it.
right.
So what would you say to that 13-year-old girl right now that's possibly going through some similar situation?
Right. They always say in the absence of a father, especially for the girl, she
Mhm.
finds love in all the wrong places. To that, I say, I don't think that's even that. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Okay.
I would suggest that when there's absence, like my mother would always tell us, are you praying? Are you praying? So I would encourage her to write love letters or questions or thoughts to her father, and then pray over those and give those to God. Let him heal that part in her heart that is absent or what's missing from him.
That's good.
Because he says, when you're fatherless, I'll take you up.
Mm.
He says that. And
Right.
so if God says that, then it's true.
Mhm.
And so if they're usually during that time of adolescence, there's so many questions and things going on in your head.
Mhm.
So when you have those questions that you can't ask your mother, write them down, pray over them and give them to God, and he'll reveal the answer to you.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. That's some great information right there. So when you went to the Bulldogs in college,
Happily.
okay, scholarship? Probably
No.
not.
No.
Probably not, because Mia was not that great in school.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I was able to get in, but it wasn't scholarship material, I'll tell you that.
So what did you major in college?
So I was a civil engineer major for
You was who,
4
where?
years. Civil engineer.
How?
It was
How,
easy.
Sway?
It was easy.
No. You're not gonna do that on this show, Mia.
Yeah, it was
No,
easy.
No, you was messing up in
I found
elementary.
what I loved. So it wasn't that I was not doing the work and
Uh-huh.
getting the grades. It
Uh-huh.
was that I was doing it to my own path. So I would be disruptive in a way that I'm talking to everybody because I'm done with my tests, right? Or I am outside playing too early. What are you doing out here? Or
Mhm.
I'm running through the hall and now you can't go on the 6th grade trip. So I did the work. It wasn't that I was as you said, slow.
No, I insinuated.
You said the short bus.
No, I asked a question. I
It wasn't that. So
insinuated.
I got the results,
Okay,
but I
gotcha.
did it my way.
Gotcha. But how did you know? okay,
Mm-hmm.
from where you had been
Mm-hmm.
to going to college that you was ready for civil engineering.
So when I first got there, had not declared a major. And then my first semester, my mom called and said, "You are coming home." And I was like, "Why am I coming home?" She said, "This is what she said. Y'all forgive me. You are stupid and you are coming home." And I was like, "What do you mean?" My GPA was 1.6.
Put that
And I
camera. Hold on. Put
realized,
that camera on me. Okay.
but let me explain why. It wasn't the partying. It was, they said you don't have to go to class. Right. And so I would go on tests. I didn't realize that if after 3 times missing in class, your grade would diminish.
Uh-huh.
I had taken the same do what I want to do by the beat of my own drum to college.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that first semester, when my mom said I was coming home, I realized, hey, you have got to make yourself conform to a way that is productive.
That's good.
And so I had to put my head down and do the work, because I also pledged Delta Sigma Theta, the greatest sorority in the world.
She
And to
said
do that,
days.
and to do that, you have to be intelligent. You have to have the GPA. You have to have a heart and a drive for service. And so I had to write down what my priorities were.
Wow.
And I had to shift that part of me that I call my superpower to hyper focus in on that.
Okay.
And so it took a lot of work, but I became an engineer major because I love the idea of the building something. Yeah, I love the math that was involved in it, but something kept pulling me, and so I ended up changing my major 4 years in, and had to spend an extra year in college.
But jokes aside, right? I
Mhm.
really want to thank you for breaking this down to us, because
Absolutely.
a lot of time people are hearing this story, right, and don't get the gist. That's why this is why it's so good to have a coffee and a conversation, right? So people can truly understand when you're sitting there in August on TEDx, right?
Right.
Having that story, that it wasn't always pretty.
Right.
I'm hearing some things in your story that's fascinating to me. Number one, you had to learn how to deal with, I guess, what people call now ADD,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or hyper, being super hyper.
Right.
And then you had to learn how to focus in on what you love, but do it and conform to the way that the system wanted you to do it to get what you want, which is not easy.
Right.
A lot of times when people have interviews, that piece of the story is missed out on, right? Because again, there are some very intelligent people out there, right? But they don't get that opportunity. They don't get to. Sometimes they don't fix themselves. Sometimes they let the world diagnose them who they may be, and they go along with the path of the culture, right? What made you truly say, okay, I done got away with this, I done graduated, I'm in college now, I got this 1 point, whatever you had, and it wasn't
1.6
1.6, right? And
academic probation.
that part.
Right.
But you knew that I can do this. What made you at that point in time? So that would have put you about 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm. Well, I went to college when I was 17.
Okay, so you went 17, so 17, 18, right? Okay, this ain't gonna work because I'm doing the work, but something is missing. I have to listen to them. What made you understand, besides your mama telling you to come home, there had to be another part in you that clicked a little bit and said, I gotta change. And how tough was it for you to make that changes? And third part of that, how did you start to make those changes?
You know how people always say, there's a daddy side of the family and there's a mother side of the family.
Okay.
In my mother's side of the family, there was a legacy of education.
Mm-hmm.
And my older sister was graduating from Howard. My brother was in the military. My other sister was at Payne College, thriving.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't be the one to not do it. That wasn't an option. I wasn't going back home. I was going to accomplish what I set out to do. And so that clicked for me. If you don't do what you need to do, then your life is not going to be the life that you envisioned. And I always knew for some reason that I would be in front of people, talking to people. I just didn't know what that was. And so after I didn't nurture that part, that just became something that I didn't even think about. So that's what led me to change my major 4 years in into communications, because it really was calling me, and I decided to say yes to the calling.
So the calling, I've said to many people, right, and they say, I felt it.
Right.
That was a calling. What was it? Was it an urgent feel? Was it a nervous feel? or was an unnervous feeling, right? What was the calling for you? What was the change in that moment?
It was not hard to do the work as far as knowledge in
Okay.
the engineering department. It was hard doing the work from the heart.
Okay.
It was not purposeful work. And so when I would be around my friends, or I would be in my true self, beating
Mhm.
to my own drum, I realized that you can major in beating to your own drum, and it's called communications. You have the
Mm.
ability to talk to other people, ask the hard questions, and do it in a way that makes you authentic,
Mhm.
makes you unique. And I fell in love with that.
Mm.
And so while my friends were running for Miss A&M or SGA, I was able to craft a message around that to help them be successful.
Mhm.
And I loved it. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And so I wanted to change my major. And so I did that to the chagrin of my folks, but I did that and I've never looked back.
You know, you're saying something in this interview. I don't like it, but I've heard it before.
What is that?
When I was married,
Hmm.
right, in my second marriage, my ex-wife wrote a piece for me.
Hmm.
I had to some things I had to turn in for when I was in radio, and I'm not a writer. She was, and she said something in that when she wrote this thing up for me. I guess it was a bio. Oh, they needed something from me, right? And she said in the bio, right, he beats to the beat of
Mm.
his own drum,
Mm.
right? And I've heard you say that a couple of times, and it's like, like we're kindred spirits because I'm
Yeah.
the same way. I beat to the spirit of my own drum too,
Mhm.
and I had to find out how to navigate in this world, whether where I be accepted, but also learn the compromise of doing what you want to do within the confines of something that you're trying to get done at the same time. So when you keep saying when you learn how to beat to the beat your own drum, I never had to do it in college.
Mhm.
I did it in the military.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would have been able to in college.
I think you would. You know why, Joe?
Why?
I'm gonna tell you because I
Okay.
had to figure out and name what that drum beat was, and it's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy
See, I was a
Spirit.
heathen, so I don't know if I would have heard that back
No,
then.
he doesn't leave you out there.
He did, but I don't know if I was listening, Mia.
Right, that's on you.
Yeah, it was. It would have been. So I'm saying 18,
But
19.
he
I don't
doesn't leave
know.
you. I mean, because he's with you now.
Now, but my
He'll
ears
never
are
leave you
open.
nor forsake you, even when your ears are closed.
Okay.
And
I'm not gonna
so
fight you on it.
he speaks to our heart.
Uh-huh.
He speaks to our heart. Well, let me name it for me. Maybe
Okay.
you had to be
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say
Okay.
the exorcism had to take place for you, maybe.
It probably did.
Let's be
It probably
clear.
did. You know what I'm saying?
But for me,
Right.
it was the Holy Spirit because once I really, whatever that drum beat was, once I started to pray about it and ask
Mhm.
for direction
Mhm.
in it, then the path was clearer.
See, I didn't do none of that.
Yeah. So it didn't necessarily mean I get this unction to do that and I'm full throttle in it.
Mhm.
That's where I made the mistakes.
Mhm.
When I started saying, okay, this is what I feel you're calling me to do, make it plain. What does that path look like for me? Where do I go from here in that? When I started listening, but then asking the questions and saying,
Mhm.
okay, this is what I think.
Mhm.
And I still do the same thing. I'll sit down with my husband and say, this is what I got. What do we do with that? And asking for guidance and I'm married now, so if he's telling me something, he's not going to tell me without telling my husband, right? So him being accepting to me being what they call a seer
Okay.
and having visions about what it is that I'm supposed to do next, and then giving that to him so that he can pray about it. And really, that's just how I lived my life, knowing, understanding that that was the Holy Spirit, um, and asking those questions so I can be clearer in my next move.
If you guys just locking in and fascinated by this conversation as I am, you have Mia Mothershed. She's in the building. We're live here at the Filter Coffee Parlor, having a cup of coffee and some conversations, and she's blowing me away as I told you she would. Make sure you like and share this video where you're looking at us at now. Hey to your husband and your family that's watching. How y'all doing? Your mom, your wife, your friend. She's really opening my mind up right now. I'm seeing that I was a really heathen back then.
No.
Um, There was no priest to get it out of me back then. But I'm gonna say when I was 18, 19 myself, Mia, I was so hell bent on I can do it.
Mm.
Now, listen to what you just said has enlightened me a tad bit about myself. Because I said I could do it, he showed me I could. That was him. He enlightened me on that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was me because in my mind back then, anything I put my mind to, oh, it's gonna get done, right? I'm going to get there, and I always did.
Mhm.
Always did. No matter what it took, I always got to the top of wherever I was. I always went to the top. I thought I was just that good, right? Until my little black behind hit a brick wall,
Mm.
and you got into a room with people who were just as good as you was. Now the veil comes off. How good are you for real?
Right.
Right. That took me. That was when I got in the military for myself. So it took me a minute to adjust to, okay, this is some new water here. Who are you? How are you getting this stuff done? But then still, like I said, I was like 19, 20 years old at that time, man. I didn't get it. I fought. I mean, I'm like, you know, sleeping, working. I probably said my prayers, but I'm gonna be honest. I was not talking to God that way, even though I grew up with a praying mom and a praying father. I was not talking to God, but he was talking to me, and I wasn't probably hearing him, but he understood my heart and not my head, I guess. Um, Later on in life, when things really started, when life started to hit me, and you get brought down to your knees on some stuff, now you're on your knees. So what you gonna do? You
Right.
pray. Typical, right? You start talking to God, right? So that's what happened to me. So I didn't really realize, and I probably said God has blessed me, but it didn't have the meaning that it had for you.
Well, in that time, Joe, don't get it wrong. I don't want to say I was a hellion, but
Okay.
I wasn't ready to be the Pope.
Okay, but
You know?
but you understood it back then a lot more than I did. It sounds
Yes,
like.
I understood. I had a
Okay.
relationship, a daily relationship with
I did.
him, and I oftentimes
Yeah.
told him to be quiet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, my producers and the people who watch this show knows that this is a part of the show where I always ask, right? Because we talk about God on the show a lot, and you said you was talking to God. How did God talk to you? Was it a woman's voice? Was it a man's voice? Was it a light? Was it a feeling? How was it when he talked to you?
It's more through visions for me.
Okay.
I always see my next. He shows me my next. And most of the time when I'm talking and I'm praying and I listen, it's just I hear me, but I hear revelation.
Okay.
So if I had to put a voice to it, it's just a knowing.
Okay.
It's just a
certain
knowing and a vision. And oftentimes I try to write that down of
So
what
is it a
I've
vision when
seen.
you're sleeping, or vision during the daytime? A
Sometimes
thought
it's
that
just in
comes?
prayer. Sometimes it's just in prayer or a thought will come.
Mhm.
Um, and I only had a dream one time.
Mhm.
And the reason I knew the date and time that I met my husband is because I heard it so clearly.
Oh, wow.
And I turned around to look at the time because that was the first time that I heard him speak to me clearly.
What did he
And I
say?
wanted to know the time. That's your husband. I wasn't looking for a husband. I wasn't thinking about a husband. I was coming to get this money. This is the first day on this job. I'm in this new city. And,
Yeah.
and so I wasn't, and I actually said to the young lady next to me, "Oh my goodness, that's my husband." And she kind of scooted over like, "This chick is crazy." She ended up being a hostess in my wedding.
Wow.
Because it was the first time. It didn't scare me, but I heard it and I knew it. So
Wow.
yeah, several different ways.
Wow. So, did it take you a 4 year to graduate from college?
It took 5.
Okay.
I went there in 93. I graduated in 98.
Okay. So during this time, now you're this person, you're a communicator, you engineering, you own this thing. So you graduated cum laude and all that good stuff.
Summa cum laude.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I made up for that 1.6.
That's what I was saying. I'm going there. Look at you. See, last week I got in trouble. This week I think I'm doing pretty good.
You're
My
doing
guest
great.
last week, man, she's still probably mad at me. Some stuff that I said, but I got in big trouble last week. I did,
Oh.
but it's okay. So when you graduated, were you married at the time? Or
I
you
was
wasn't?
not. I didn't meet my husband till 99. I had moved to Montgomery from
Okay.
Hudson.
Okay.
Well, I had moved to Columbus for a job in television.
Okay.
And ended up getting a job in Montgomery, moved there.
Okay.
And met him the first day on that job.
Okay. So no kids at that time?
None. No.
Okay. So were you dating prior to this special man in your life?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So did he pull you away, or did you drop somebody because you knew that was him?
I had been praying about the relationship that I was in because I knew that wasn't it.
Okay. Okay.
I knew that wasn't it. And so because I knew that was it, it was okay for me to move away and go get another job and hope that this will just drift off. And it did.
Did you ghost him or did you tell him?
I told him.
You told him what you
I
say?
was very.
What'd you say, Mia? It's over?
Yeah. You do you. I'm gonna do me. I don't really know what I said. I just know.
So how long was that relationship?
Person.
So the relationship was how long for you before?
It was like 4 or 5 years.
Oh, and that's what you said to that man?
Yeah. Why is everybody laughing? Because you have to realize, think about it. You have to realize, think about you and your foolishness.
Okay.
And in college, it's some most of the time it's been my experience that relationships go to foolishness.
Right,
You're
right.
doing something you shouldn't be doing, and
Right.
I'm crying, and you say you're gonna do right, and I'm going back because it's not really about you. It's because I want to win.
Right.
I don't want nobody else to think that I lost you to someone, that type of foolishness.
Right.
And so it 4 or 5 years, that was just time.
It was time.
It wasn't, oh, we've been together for 4 years and I just broke his heart. No, that's just time of going back and forth. Right. And so when R. Kelly is right, when a woman is fed up. And so when I reached my point of not giving you the latitude to
Right.
try to keep correcting yourself, because let's be honest, it's something I've learned along my journey. If some people will do what they want to do,
True.
right?
And when they want to do it.
And when they want to do it, it's not what you allow them to do. Because if I would allow you to be mean to me, but that's not what you want to do, you're not going to do it.
That's true.
Right. And so if I'm in a relationship that's not serving me or you, then it needs because now at this point, I've seen who a man is in character, in deed, and in integrity. And you can't change my mind from that. So you've got to go because I've seen what it is that is the best of the best.
So when you was making that transition, had you met him? Had you met your husband then?
Yes, I had met him, had a few conversations with him.
Had a few conversations. And within a few conversations, you knew that, okay, this is better than what I'm doing.
I knew when I saw him, but in the conversation, yeah, he had a conversation. It wasn't foolishness.
Yeah. And I want to ask this question because probably just for me. Yeah, maybe more for me. I want to ask this question.
Okay.
Because I'm divorced twice.
Okay. Can't promise I have an answer, but
I think you do. I think you do for this one.
Okay.
Because you're happily married. But I think as being a woman, you would know. When a woman's fed up, as R. Kelly would say, do they lead a relationship? By the time they tell you, but they already had left the relationship way prior.
If she told you, she had already mentally packed her bags. She was already disengaged. Women have to, it's been my experience, and I am a woman. Women leave before they say, because women are going to give you everything that they have. If I'm going to commit to you, I'm going to give you everything that I have to make you better, to make us better. I'm going to ride with you.
Right.
But if I tell you it's over, then it's already because I've made up in my mind that there's nothing else I can do for you. I can't resuscitate this relationship. It is done. So the begging and the pleading after she says it is unnecessary.
It don't, fellas.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Fellas, she already gone. Yeah. She had already left.
If you make her get to the point where she has to articulate to you that it's over, it's because she's made it up in her mind and in her heart. So in a relationship, your next relationship, I would encourage you to always speak to her heart, because if her heart is happy, you cannot knock the smile off her face. Yeah.
Everybody ain't your husband.
No. I'm not. No, I'm gonna tell you, and not saying that you weren't a man in the
No, go
relationship,
ahead. Go ahead.
but
Tell the
when you
truth.
get
Mia,
to a
go on.
point
Go ahead.
in any relationship,
Uh-huh.
and this is young and old, and I tell this to my son all the time as
Mhm.
well. You have to be the man that she is expecting you to be,
Mhm.
but you can't create that person. You have to actually be that.
I agree.
You have to be in right character, your integrity. I heard I don't know who it was. It was a rapper one time say that he wouldn't do business. Not saying this was you, but he
Mhm.
wouldn't do business with a man who cheated on his wife. And they were like, "Why?" He said, "Because if the
I
person
heard
that
that interview.
trusts him the most,
Yeah. He cheated on her. You cheat on him too.
it doesn't have integrity,
Yeah.
he's not going to
I
be in
heard.
good
I heard
business
the
with
same interview.
you,
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah.
And so you have to be the person that you like.
Hmm.
Um,
But I liked me back then.
oh, okay. Well, then there it is. Then you should have been single. Because I think women are evolving to the point where they're not gonna take that foolishness too long, and they
This
realize it's
interview
either
just
you or
did I not
hey,
tell
it's
y'all?
either you or me. And women are to the point now where you know we're out here thriving.
Uh-huh.
So you either help me thrive and
Uh-huh.
I help you thrive,
Uh-huh.
or we just meet for coffee and conversation.
Didn't I tell you she's gonna take over this interview? This coffee show tastes good. I'm drinking butterscotch, salted butterscotch right here at the Filter Coffee Parlor. I'm in an interview with the one and only, phenomenal Mia Mothershed. She's in the building with me, y'all. Give me some marital advice of what a great marriage looks like. And I'm not mad about it. I'm very intrigued by it. And absolutely, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of things you say, you're correct. Um, I agree with you wholeheartedly, right? Because a woman, at the end of the day, if she's your queen, you're gonna treat her that way.
Right. And it's just all about being the man that you want to be for yourself.
Hmm. I agree. I agree
And
with that.
that's intriguing to most women when they see a man who is a good man to himself.
Hmm.
Then that's a pull for most women.
And I think and I would love to meet your husband one day because I want to ask him this question, right? Like, okay, so, and I don't make excuses, but the thing I would say is this here is sometimes men get into relationships and they do not love themselves because they're trying to love their family,
Hmm.
and within that he becomes sad, right?
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, he loses himself within his family, and then he loses his family at the same time. And a lot of times, because we're not taught that as men, right? You don't realize it till it's too late.
Mm.
That is an honest assessment when it comes to men. All men that does foolishness, and I ain't talking about the cheating part. I'm just talking about a lot of times, most men, ladies, don't get angry when I say this. They don't cheat, right? They cheat emotionally.
Hmm.
They're not there. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing the things that the woman actually need them to do. And there's attentiveness that they need to be for with a lot of women, right? And I think that's a problem with some men is that we are too egotistical, too hard-headed
Mm.
to have that conversation and say, baby, I don't know what I'm doing. Baby, I'm stuck right now. Because we kind of feel like we should have all the answers. Because I would honestly tell you, Mia, in my marriage, there was a time where I was embarrassed about the things I wasn't able to do. And instead of trying to talk to my ex-wife about it, I tried to cover it up and figured out how to get it done, which made matters worse when I couldn't get it done because now what you said you was going to do turned into a lie, right?
Hmm.
And now you're
Right.
covering up the lie, right? And when you
Yeah.
cover up,
Oh,
so you know what I'm
yeah.
saying. So that happens a lot, though,
Yeah.
right? And then when you try to explain to her exactly what happened, she don't want to hear that because the first thing she would have said, "Why you didn't tell me
Right.
in the
Right.
beginning?"
Well, yeah, and I certainly can't speak for
No,
him,
I want to talk to him.
and what a man thinks, but that makes so much sense.
Yeah. That
Because
might,
we're out here thriving, trying to be the person that I'm supposed to be in this relationship, in this marriage, and I don't know what men do, and well, I can assume
mhm,
what men do, but I think a lot of that too has to go back to a spiritual focus, right? Like,
mhm.
what does that download or that prayer life look like for you, or not just you, but
Yeah, in
you in
general, yeah.
general? um because we all need something. And if a man is supposed to be the head of the house, he needs someone to download to him or guide him on what
Mm.
the right next move is. What is the right next move? And so you have to have a strong relationship with Christ, because where else do you go? Because sometimes men that hang out with each other don't give the right spiritual advice
Hmm.
or the right advice. We are blessed to have a triad of friendships that I know that if my husband is seeking advice from other men, are going to give him,
That's good.
godly wisdom.
Hmm.
But that's also where it comes in too, because
Awesome.
this life is hard.
It
You
is.
need
Yeah.
people around you that's going to give you good advice.
And that's the thing. If you guys are listening to the show right now, having a nice, great coffee conversation with my good friend Mia, he's talking about your marriage, right? Make sure that before your wife gets fed up, right, that you find someone to have that conversation with, right? So you can know how to talk to your wife. People say therapy. I don't know if therapy is always the answer for us men, because men, we feel, I'm speaking for men for the most part, but I know when I was told to go to therapy, it was more so of, um, I don't need therapy because I can sit down and talk to you. So you can tell me what's wrong. So we can sit down and talk about it. I don't need a third person involved in this conversation. That was my thought pattern on it. As
Hmm.
later on, I realized it was too late. You know what I'm saying? But the third person wasn't for me. It was for her because she couldn't say what she needed to say to me because I was too stubborn. And each time she had somebody had to come back for it. She needed somebody to break down to me what she was actually feeling that I would listen to.
Hmm.
And in that moment, I learned. And hindsight is 2020.
Always.
But you learn at that point that I took that for granted.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
What is it with men in therapy? Like everybody needs therapy. I mean, should we call it another name? Because you need it.
Okay, so
Everybody needs somebody to talk to.
okay, so when we grew up as we grew up as men,
Hmm.
right? We're taught to not feel,
Hmm.
lead, guide, and protect.
Okay.
There is nothing in my upbringing at all that says seek help. In my upbringing, it's survival and figure it out, right? And so when you come to me as my wife saying that we need help, I married you. I asked you for your ring, for your hand in marriage, right? How are you going to tell me I need help? That's the way a lot of us see it. So it's a
Okay.
slap to my ego and to who I am as a man. Like
Oh.
I did something wrong to make you. After all these years, ain't nobody never told me, but I got a woman now telling me we need to go to therapy. For
Hmm.
me, it make me feel like at that point in time something's wrong with me. It ain't nothing to do with you, but it's the feeling that you've never felt this before. And the worst thing a man could ever have, right, is his woman
Hmm.
saying to him, "You're weak or you're wrong." She's not saying that, but that's the way we feel.
So it made you feel like something was wrong with you.
Two things. It made me feel like something was wrong with me, and if I'm going to the therapist, I don't know how to handle my marriage, and I got to go talk to somebody else about something that's mine, and I don't want to talk to nobody else about my marriage. Right?
Oh,
That's where,
Joe.
yeah, that's the way I felt though. I mean,
And you're not alone in that, I'm sure.
yeah,
But if it, I don't know, if something made me feel like something was wrong with me, I want to go to somebody. Like I'm gonna go.
but
Do you go to the doctor? Like for
when when
physicals?
when at that time when necessary. But let
Yeah.
me say this to you though: as a woman, you went to your mom, you went to your dad, right? You always had somebody. You said your daddy girl, daddy had the answers, right?
Mhm.
So you're used to going to asking for help,
And men
right?
aren't.
We're not. When we went to do something, daddy said, "Get you behind him and go figure it out." You got to scrape on your thing, go put some band-aids on and keep it moving, right? We never could go ask daddy for help.
I get
Okay,
that. I get
you go out
that.
there and you teach you how to throw a ball, pick it back up, throw it like this, do it like this. What are you doing? Do it again, do it again, do it again.
Mm.
That was no let me help you, let me show you when we was kids. Because your father is molding you to be a man to deal with the world as it's going to be. That's what he was told.
Mm.
That's why he had the things that he had. Now we're into the phase of the therapy, understanding your emotion and then your feelings and all that stuff. I get it now. But then I wasn't capable. If I ain't
Because
never
of the
seen it,
way traditionally
yeah,
how men are raised. I
yeah.
get it.
And
I
so
get
I
it.
so I didn't know, right? That was my wife loving me. I thought it was me looking weak in front of my wife, and then I'm gonna look weak in front of somebody else too. Hell no, I'm not
I
gonna do
got
that.
it. I got it. I heard the late great Michael Jamal Warner say in an interview, um, when it comes to boys and raising men,
Hmm.
that we've got to change the way we raise men. Because before, we're going to punish you, we're going to probably spank you, we're going to drill it in you. You got to get it out the mud. And he wanted to love in a way that my disappointment of you is what got you together, as opposed to my chastising of you.
And I think it has to be a balance for young men growing up today. Because I love what my father did to me. Because it made me the man I am, and I don't take no for an ounce, and I don't. When I'm in the mud, I know I'm not gonna stay there because I'm gonna get back up.
Right.
So I need that.
Yeah.
But
I had to release my son to my husband.
Yeah.
Because I saw me being the mother on Women of Brewster Place. I remember Basil would get in trouble and he'd call his mom and she'd go bail him out. She put her house on the line. She lost her house, you know, all for the love of her son. Right. And I realized, in fact, I heard the Holy Spirit tell me, you have to raise a man, and a woman can't raise a man.
Right.
And so I had to stop and honestly say, okay, when he calls and when he asks, tell him, call your dad. Did you call your, did you talk to your dad first? Because I will just do. And then my husband would be like, no, you know? Right. And so I had to just throw my hands up. So I get that. It takes, he is going to go through things in this life that I don't understand as a woman. And I can't raise him to handle it the way that I would, or he won't be that man
for that next woman. Because if I'm in the mud, right, the last thing you want to hear is that I'm trying to get in touch with my emotions.
And we sitting on the couch together.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds great what women want me to
do.
Right?
In theory.
But if you got that man that you actually say you wanted, you're not going to want him in the time of need.
That's right.
You're going to want that warrior. You know what I'm saying? That guy be like, don't worry, baby, I got you. Even though I don't have a freaking clue of what's going to happen. Long as you believe in me, I'm going through brick walls for you.
Yeah.
If I'm in touch with my emotions, I can't see the brick wall. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm now trying to deal with my feelings of it, so I'm not invincible.
You taught me something today.
Wow.
I got it.
Wait a minute. Bag that up. Y'all repeat that. Hold on. Put that on repeat. Say that one more time.
You taught me something today.
Yeah. I think, you know, like my ex-wife, right? My love for her and seeing my son made me go through walls, and I didn't see hard times because I knew what they needed. Right. And so as a man, there is no emotion that's going to stop me from taking care of my family. Right. So I don't feel anything. But women, when you're married, even when you're in a relationship,
we want to sit down and talk about it.
And you want me to have feelings. Right. You want me to erase my history of who I am as a man so I can, you know, appease what you're feeling. Now, here's the balance. And here's the cream right here for the coffee today. Us as men got to realize we have to do both. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. We have to, but it's going to come with maturity. Right. We have to understand that the woman needs something from you that you don't have. And I have to be willing to be with a mate that's going to teach me. My first wife taught me how to love. I didn't know how to love at all. Hold hands, none of that crap. Right. It was like, no, I don't need all that. Right. Good man. I'm a good man, but I wasn't a husband type figure for my first wife. But then when she went to go visit my home, right, and when we came back home, she said, I understand why. She had the conversation with me. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? No, I understand why you are the way you are. And then she put her hand on my leg, right? I'm like, what you doing? Right? And she was like, and she put her hand back on my leg again, right? And I said, stop, girl, stop, baby, stop. Right? And she did it again. And she said, don't touch my hand. She said, sit here. She said, put your hand on top of mine. Right. And I did. And she said, put your hand back on top of mine. She said, you don't know how to love. You don't know how to accept emotions. You don't know how to accept feelings. Right. I did not like it, Mia. It was
uncomfortable.
Very.
Yeah.
Very. Because now I'm feeling something that I don't want to feel. I'm not hard anymore. Right. And so it's like, it feels good, but
it leaves you vulnerable. And if you have to be the man that she needs, you can't have vulnerability.
I didn't think I could.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to balance. You know what I'm saying? If you're a brick wall, you don't know how to be water.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
If anybody listens to the conversation, I hope it's helping you guys out, but you just don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's something that I had to learn. And I'm still working with. I'm a much, much, much better person now. And I can see it. And I can articulate the emotions and the things that I was now. But back then, they should have divorced me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I probably divorced myself at that time.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you this. For your final wife, I'm not going to say your third wife or your next wife, your final wife, I would encourage you to start counseling.
3 or 4. Good God.
No, your final wife. It's the one that's coming up. To start from a place of help.
Mm-hmm.
Premarital counseling that extends well into your marriage.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. No, I don't have any fight back on that. I think, you need somebody who's looking on the outside that you trust for the both of y'all
Absolutely.
to keep you structured and along the path that you guys are setting for. So I truly believe in that now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's okay. But
Absolutely.
I think what men need to hear is that a person like me that's an alpha male, they need to hear somebody else say it.
Yeah.
Right. And how to be vulnerable with still being a man. That's tough for men.
And counseling doesn't say, oh, she's right or you're right or this is that. It really is for you to hear in a space, hear your spouse in a space that allows you to hear their heart.
But people listen to our show today, right? You have lovely kids, a lovely husband, and that's real easy for you to say at this point in time. I'm just saying.
It was lovely because I packaged it up for y'all.
Right.
But we have our moment.
Yeah. So, people going through what I went through, what you probably went through, right? It's different. Everybody's journey is different, right? How they're feeling, what their upbringing was.
Absolutely.
When you go into relationships, you're damaged.
Oh my
You're damaged
goodness.
goods.
That
right? Everybody's damaged.
Everyone is.
Everybody's damaged going into it and hoping they can put something together, make it stick, and then throw some spaghetti against the wall and hope
But
it
you
works.
can't hide that damage. You have to be vulnerable to let your spouse know where you come from so they'll understand it. And most people don't, right?
Even in therapy, they don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Even
people have a shell, but
yeah, a lot of times you have a lot of folks that get married on the idea and the concept and the structure and the security. Understand what I'm saying here, right? But not for the person.
Absolutely, because it is only by the grace of God that I have what I have. And if he were sitting right here, he may not see it the same way.
Right.
He may not see it the same way because I know that my ADD throws him from a loop sometimes,
Yeah.
But it's like riding a motorcycle. He just lean into turns with me, right?
Yeah.
But I think it is only by the grace of God. So that constant prayer of God, help our hearts and our minds to, number one, be forgiving, to lean into the curve. And there is no one, I have to remind myself, and I'm sure he does, that there is no one else that I'd rather go through the hard times with.
Wow.
Like, bruh. I will take him on my worst day than without him on my best day.
I want to interview your husband. I if he get time, I know he's busy, but
my husband has a Barry White voice.
That's okay. But I would love to have him on this show. I would love to get your husband on this show. Speaking of your husband, can I ask you a question? How did this marvelous of a man?
Well, you stop making it seem like I said I am married to Superman.
That's what it make it seems like.
He's my Superman.
Okay, then. How did Superman propose to you?
Garbage. Now that is garbage. Trash.
Wait a minute.
I'm still waiting on him to ask.
Huh?
I'm still waiting on him to ask. He's never had I want it. Like what you see, on social media now. We didn't have social media back then, but no, we had talked about it. We had prayed about it, and we knew that was the road we were going on. And it was my own fault because I was being the controlling person that I used to be. And I remember I found the ring that I wanted and I sent it to him. I emailed it to him. Like I was working upstairs. He was working downstairs. I emailed it to him and I didn't get it. Why you are tickled, Mr. Producer? And I emailed it to him because I wanted him to know what I wanted.
Him to know what?
The type of ring that I wanted. And he didn't send me an email back. So I remember I got up and I went downstairs and I was looking at him. He was like, okay. And so then we didn't talk about it. And then I wrote a date down on a piece of paper and I went downstairs and I think he was on the phone and I pointed to him. He said, shook his head, okay. And then one time I was at his house, I think we were going on a date and he had to go get ready. And so while he was getting ready, I'm going through everything. I don't think he's going to hear this and be like, I went through everything.
Oh, so you
trying
telling
to
something you never told before.
I don't think I ever told him. And I saw where he had printed out the ring that I had sent him. So I was ready. I was like, oh, he's going to get it. I'm ready. So I can't remember when that was, but my birthday came and it was no ring.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas came, it was no ring. Mm-hmm. But I think he knew I had gone through his things.
What is wrong with y'all?
I don't know. We just want what we want. And so New Year's came. And I just knew it was going to be New Year's. And so I turned around and he was like, Happy New Year. I was like, Happy New Year. And he started laughing because I started bawling. I was crying so bad. And he was like, I would think he wanted me to admit that I saw you printed it, And he was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, nothing. And so by the time,
happy because you're here.
Right. So by the time Valentine's, I was like, just forget it. And this man is not going to give me this ring. So I didn't think about it on Valentine's Day. And then on his birthday, when the one day I wasn't thinking about me, I was thinking about him because it was his birthday. We had went to dinner and then we were back at his house. We were watching TV. I'll never forget watching HGTV and he just slipped it on my finger. And that's how he asked me.
That wasn't trash.
He probably didn't get an opportunity to ask because I was jumping up and down. I was like, I see it in the dark. It's so pretty. Thank you.
Wait a minute. That was the best proposal for your behind that you needed.
I deserved it.
Yes.
Yeah, I deserved that.
Because everybody listening to this saying what you did, you proposed to that man.
Did I?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. No. If y'all in the comments right now, y'all tell me what y'all feel about. Y'all heard us say this. I don't
care what you feel. I did not propose to him. He asked me. I just showed him what I wanted, and he wanted to make me happy.
Before you showed him anything, had he proposed to you?
Oh yeah, we had already talked about it.
No. Did he ask you for your hand in marriage?
No, he had not.
So he didn't propose?
Yes, he did.
No.
Joe?
No. Mia?
He asked me.
No.
He prayed about it. He knew that it was going to happen. We discussed it.
But he didn't ask you for your hand in marriage?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so you asked him and you showed him, you told
him. You can say whatever you want to because it's your show. But I know. And 25 years later, here we are because he asked me.
You manifested this. You saw your vision.
I knew he was it. So I they say
anytime somebody got to say a conjunction, it is, you know what I'm saying?
No, I just wanted to have what I wanted. And he bought me the ring that I wanted. You can package it any way you want to, but I said what I said. Thank you, producer. I said what I said. Mm-hmm. And here we are, happy. Don't ask him.
No, I need that now. I need to ask your husband when he get on the show. Bro, you heard the show. How was that for you? I know she's gonna be sitting there like he better say the right stuff.
No. He is free to answer any way he wants to. However, he did ask me. We did a lot of talking and planning before he got me the ring. Because I remember saying, I can't plan a wedding, and I don't have a ring. People are gonna think I'm crazy.
He didn't ask you yet.
No, he had. We had talked about it.
Talked about getting married and what it wanted to look like with me asking you two different things, Mia.
No, it's not. Not when you're both saying, yes, we do want to do this.
Yeah, but
yes, we're going to get married. And then he told me, you can start planning the wedding. I was like, but I can't plan the wedding because I don't have a ring and people are going to think I'm crazy. And he said, do you believe them or do you believe me? And so I planned that wedding. And in my planning, I sent him the picture of the ring, Joe.
Okay, send me a picture of the ring, but let me get a ring to you when I want to give it to you. I told you I'm gonna make it happen.
And he did that when he wanted to. Saying. And I spent months suffering because
you deserved it.
I went through that man's things.
And you deserved it.
Yeah,
every bit of
it. I did. I cried so hard on New Year's and he was so tickled. Why is this man laughing? I mean, he was chuckling.
Because here's the thing.
Because he knew he was marrying a controlling woman, and he broke me all the way down.
And he wanted to make sure that he was going to do it on his time frame and his terms.
He did. He shaped me. He still
like
says
that.
I'm kind of controlling, but he was very much not going to be controlled.
That's a man.
Yeah, I broke up with him one time, and before I could finish my sentence, he said,
Go
"I
sit
think
down.
you're right."
Oh.
And I was like,
oh.
I must have made a face like I had just, I don't know, smelt something bad, because he said, "That doesn't feel good, does it?" Never again did I say those words. In 25 years, I have not said that again.
Y'all were made for each other.
We were.
Y'all are made for each other. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Speaking of the wonderful marriage and the tough times you guys have had, that first child, how was that?
Well, my son was a preemie. He's 6'5" now.
Okay.
Or 6'4". I can't remember. He's taller than me. And it was tough because I gained 100 pounds. I was 250 pounds when he was born, and he was 3 pounds. And so he spent his first, they told me he would be there for 2 months. And my sister came and she prayed over the incubator. 2 weeks, he came home, and they were saying, we've never let a baby go home this small. They stuffed blankets all around his car seat because he was so tiny. And I had made the decision, we had made the decision that I would stay home with him because he was a preemie. And it was tough not knowing. He's from Mississippi. I'm from Georgia. My mother was living in New Haven, Connecticut at the time. So not having someone there with us was tough, because neither one of us was from Montgomery. But we had a very good church family who loved us and helped us. It's like when people say you give birth, you don't remember the pain of it. Because thinking back now on it, I think that it was a great time raising a family. So I can't remember the tough times in it. But being a first time mom, we planned it out. So
did that bring y'all closer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Both not knowing what to do with this. When the night before he came home from the hospital, they asked us to come to the hospital, spend the night, and then we take him home the next day.
Right.
Well, we were leaving and they were like, "Okay, bye." We were like, we don't get a brochure or a pamphlet. We actually asked for something like, "This is it. We just go home."
Right.
So we were confused and not knowing what to do. It brought us closer because we had to work as a team.
Wow.
We had to work as a team. So
you have 3 kids?
Two
kids. So you have a girl and a boy.
A girl and a boy.
Well, you got the trifecta there.
Yeah.
Most people,
what else do you have?
Yeah, most people want a girl and a boy.
Right.
I think my mom, she wanted a girl.
Oh.
She wanted with 2 boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I made him promise we'd have 5. And then after the first pregnancies were so tough, we were like, okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay. So after the kids were born, you guys are doing what you was doing now. How did y'all careers flourish together? What did that look like?
Well, he has been in his profession for a while now. And like I said, beat by my own drum. I woke up one day and I said, I know I'm here with the kids, but I feel like the Lord is calling me to open a business. And he prayed about it and he said, let's do it. And so I opened my own business in Montgomery, and it was great. It was a birthday party place for girls, and named it after my daughter. And so, worked that, had a venue for stay-at-home moms during the day for active play. And then on the weekends, it was birthday parties for little girls, because I could not find anything that was what we wanted for birthday parties. Like, nice, I don't want to say wholesome, but yeah, wholesome parties, for little girls. And so we created that space. So I was able to thrive in that, and he supported me through that on the weekends because he had the kids, and the kids were with me during the day. So it was able to work out pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you leave your corporate career?
Immediately when I had Roman, I did that. And then I always thought, because I spent so much time outside of corporate, that I'd be a daycare worker. Nothing wrong with a daycare worker, but thinking I wouldn't work within my profession anymore because I had spent so much time out of it. But during that time, with my own business, working with the chamber in that area, going through their entrepreneurial university there. I was asked to speak to do some leadership training for a local college. Within what I knew and what my niche was, and so I did that. And after doing a couple of sessions there, they asked me would I come and speak to their college students there. So did that, and ended up becoming a teacher at the college.
Wow.
And that parlayed into additional speaking opportunities, and doing marketing for the college there, and then went to speak to someone to give them some free advice about what they could do with their program that they were running. And they said, no, we don't want to contract this work. We want you to come on full time. And so it started from there.
And so you open up a company. What's the company's name?
So the name of my company is Marketing Essentials Creative Agency.
Marketing
and
what?
Essentials
Okay.
Creative Agency, and it's just the Me Creative Agency. And so I started doing marketing there, and helping different brands elevate from small businesses, elevate in healthcare as well. And then went to the C-suite for a federally qualified health center.
Mhm.
So went there, and then was pulled from there to the largest multi-specialty clinic in a hospital in Montgomery,
Mhm.
and worked there, and then got the call to interview in the Birmingham area.
Wow.
I decided I wasn't going to do that because I wasn't going to move my family. My son at the time was going into his senior year of high school.
Mhm.
And then I said, this is what you should not do if you're adamant about not moving. I took the interview anyway. And I came up and I spoke to them, and it just so happened that it was a multi-hospital system. And so it afforded me the opportunity to live in an area where my husband could commute.
Mhm.
But I turned the job down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I'll never forget it. I was having the conversation with my husband. I said, I turned it down. I'm kind of sad though, because I make sure everybody in this house is great. I want to be great. And he looked at me and he was like, well, go be great, babe. I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And so we had just built a home, 2 years in it, sold it, built a home in this area, and we've been here ever since.
We've talked about the husband. We've talked about your son. Tell me about your daughter.
She is amazing because she is nothing like me.
Okay.
She is completely my husband. She is a very rational thinker.
Mm.
She watches the room.
Okay.
And I love that about her. She really stands in her own truth. She's not afraid to speak up or speak out.
Mhm.
She is very shy with people that she does not know.
Mhm.
But once you get to know her, she is like the life of the party. She is so smart. She is going to be a dentist.
Okay.
She's going into her senior year of high school.
Mhm.
And we never went on college trips with my son. He
Mhm.
just went on different college trips, actually with his friends, because he plays football.
Mhm.
So he would go on these different recruiting trips. But she had it all mapped out. So we've gone to Mobile, we've gone to different colleges to do college tours. And so she is very uniquely herself.
Mhm.
And I love watching her thrive because she knows what she wants and she gets it done.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen to your story. You know, we having some conversations. It's been really good.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Had some fun. I learned some stuff.
You've had me come here and be transparent, and now everybody's going to say I asked my husband to marry me, but we're okay.
Well, they can go back and watch the interview and determine for themselves.
That's right.
Make
that
sure
he asked me.
Make sure y'all go to LIM Network or find it on Facebook at Joe Lockett. But I got one more thing before you get out here. I got
Absolutely.
2 questions. A little birdie told me you got a phone call for you to speak on a very big stage coming up here in August.
Absolutely.
And they said the phone call for you to come with all the stuff you've been through, from being on the long bus, okay, getting a 1.6,
right,
okay, being graduating with the what's it called?
Summa cum
laude. Yeah, you got that. Okay, found the best husband where you found your Superman. You got your 3 kids, right?
2.
Only 2 kids,
and
then you open up your own company,
right?
all of that, and then you get this phone call.
Right.
and said, Mia Mothershed, we would like for you to speak at TEDx Alabaster. How was that phone call?
It was amazing. I had met someone who I was at a speaking engagement, just doing what I do naturally,
Mm-hmm.
speaking. And someone came up to me and said, I think you'd be great for TEDx Alabaster. I was like, TEDx Alabaster. And they were like, yeah, I think you should talk to someone about that. I got a phone call, didn't realize it was an interview, or I would have been more buttoned up, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I was very vulnerable and transparent. And actually, the theme is ripples and reflection. So my vulnerability was really what I guess captivated them. Did not realize it was over 300
Mm-hmm.
submissions. And I was blessed to be one of the 15 speakers for TEDx Alabaster that's happening August the 15th. And I cannot be more excited to share the stage with 14 other amazing people.
If people want to buy tickets, where can they buy tickets at?
TEDxalabaster.com.
Wow.
Yeah, and they can come on August the 15th, spend the day with us and listen to some great talks. The talks will range anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, so it won't be 15 long talks. So you don't have to be afraid about that. But what you will do, you'll leave inspired, encouraged, valued, uplifted. It's not a motivational talk. The talks are geared around making you think.
Mhm.
Posing questions. And so I think it's going to be a great day, and we would love for people to come out and join us at TEDxalabaster.com. You can find more information in your ticket.
Man, let me tell y'all something. Mia Mother, she's in the building. She has really set this show on fire today. Told me a little bit about myself.
No, please.
But we done found out that, you know, she did ask her husband to marry
You
her.
say so. It worked out.
It worked out 25 years later. Last question I want to ask you is, Mia.
Absolutely.
What would you say to the little girl, the 13-year-old girl, now
Mhm.
for everything you've been through? The 13-year-old girl that when mom and dad was moving in separate directions. If you had a chance to talk to her right now, what would you say to her?
I would tell her that all is well. All is well. The Bible tells us that all of our days are full of trouble, but He delivers us from them all.
Mhm.
We cannot live a life that's void of trouble. If we live a life that's void of trouble, we can't develop and shore up the skills that we need to thrive. When you live a life of privilege, you think everything comes to you, and then you find yourself blaming others for what you don't have. But when you realize that things that happen in your life that you don't understand, it helps you build emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
The number one key to thriving in this life is emotional intelligence, whether in a boardroom or in a ballroom.
Mhm.
And so I would say to her, just keep living. It's like picking up smooth stones. And everything that you go through, you will come through, because that's the promise of our God, that you'll go through it, but you'll also come through it, and you'll be that much more better for it. So pick up those smooth stones so that you can eventually stack the rocks. And what I mean by that, I remember my pastor did a sermon one time about stacking the rocks when the people went through the Jordan River, and God told them to stack the rocks so it'll be a monument to what has happened here. And so you go through things, you thrive through things, you get better through things, and then you stack the rocks of what happened, because our testimony is for someone else. So you can't be a better you and help the people that come behind you if you don't stack the rocks and tell your story, because our stories is what takes us to the next journey, and we just go from glory to glory.
Well, me, I want to say thank you for having a coffee and a conversation with me.
Absolutely.
And for people watching this show today, make sure y'all like and follow. Where can they find more information about you, and how can they get in contact with their neat marketing?
Absolutely. MiaMothershed.com. MIA Mothershed, SHED.com.
Mia, thank you so much. Bring that coffee in for me. Grab that coffee. Bring it in. Grab cups. All right. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed that show. If you didn't, and go back and watch all this other stuff, share the videos out there, y'all. Share our promos and stuff like that. We do this every Wednesday right here at the Filter Coffee Parlor. Tomorrow, make sure y'all stay in Lock It In Media. Got a brand new show called Joe Lockett 101. Got a new interview out that's going to be coming up tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon. Okay. Melanie, I'm sorry. Melanie Colston, right? Running for district, I think it was District 5 in Irondale. She sat down with me. her very first interview, right, as a candidate. She sat down with me, and we had a conversation, and she laid out the truth, y'all. That show is all about no spin with the boy Joe Lockett. But today, I want to thank Mia, her family, everybody's watching. All of you guys out there watching today, thank you so much. We want to thank Filter Coffee Parlor for being our sponsor each and every week for the great things they do for here. If you guys happen to be in Birmingham, Alabama, come on down to the Filter Coffee Parlor. But y'all know how we do it. Let's clink our cups together, y'all. You know how we love you, all right? You know what I got. You know what I got to say to you, right? Have a great day, and I love you.